Hey everybody, welcome back to Hollow Knight Marauders podcast and Hollow Knight Marauders live. I'm joined here by my Bombad crew of Jamie and Matt. How you guys doing?
Hello. Good
I'm
evening.
cold.
Yeah,
If I sound funky, that's why.
You could have played it off the entire time.
God's
honestly.
latest.
Probably not. No, that was last weekend.
Okay. But as you can see here, we didn't pop them backstage this time, just because. Why? I don't know. Why not? But we have the Skytalkers back.
Yay.
Caitlin and Charlotte, how you guys doing?
So happy to be here. And
Thank you so much for having us back.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah,
had
of
such
course.
a great time last time. We're so happy to be back and chatting with you all and talking Skeleton Crew. And what an amazing episode.
Oh,
Seriously.
Yeah, we
They
got
keep
you.
getting better.
Got you for
Yeah.
one of the best ones.
I
Yeah.
know, we're so lucky.
So good. I know when we were on for Bad Batch, it was also near the end of this season too, and I feel like we just really lucked out.
You guys always get like the ripe episodes, and so like it's good. It's almost like you're like, you know what? Let's let it cook a little bit first, and then
Oh,
yeah.
We'll let it cook. We'll let the season cook a little, and then we'll hop in.
I'm trying to remember what
Exactly.
episode that was for. Oh, it was the it
Into
was
the
Rampart with the beard, and something about full circle. We mentioned full circle like 10 times.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
true.
Things coming full circle.
Things really do come full circle, you know?
Yeah.
and now you're back. It's full circle again because you're.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
We did it.
Unbelievable.
that was awful. Okay.
But yeah, we're here to talk about Skeleton Crew episode 7, which we'll get to after our Marauder shenanigans, question of the week, and character swap, which is always a doozy. But I guess we'll just dive into question of the week, right? Why not?
Sure.
All right.
Let's do it. Matt, what do you have?
Captain Matt,
All
what do you got?
So we'll talk about this, how I feel about this later. But I'm just going to throw it out there. This is going to be a quick, easy one. What is your ideal punishment for Jod after this week's episode?
Oh,
Ideal punishment.
Yeah, how are we punishing him for what he's done?
Jod is going to be a huge
Transgressions.
topic of discussion this episode, of course. This whole recording, I should say, stream.
Yeah, this was
so
kind
good
of his
question.
episode.
Yeah.
Real punishment.
We can start with the
I-
Skytalkers. Yeah.
I know because we just recorded our episode about this and kind of actually talked about this a little bit. So I might be stealing Charlotte's, but it is also mine. So
Okay.
my punishment for Jod is I want him to be ejected from Ad Atten and lose all knowledge on how to get there. Like the coordinates are deleted. No one believes that he actually found it. And now he has to spend the rest of his life trying to get back to the treasure planet that no one believes he actually found. And it just drives him crazy.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
What
Yeah.
a way to go.
Yeah.
That's like a serious one. I like it.
Yeah, Caitlin, you
I wasn't
want
going
to
good
answer
one.
it? Yeah. Mine that is sort of serious too, but also comical would be him drowning in the Old Republic credits.
Ooh.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and just like suffocating based off of the credits surrounding him like Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah.
I was going to
yes,
say, it's the
absolutely.
reverse
Weight of
Scrooge
it.
McDuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
That's
tries to
good.
dive into the pile and he realizes that it's not a liquid, so he splashes
Goes to the
right
bottom.
on him. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's
Exactly.
it, yeah.
that too. Yeah,
Um,
any number of things with the
Oh.
credits.
okay, that's good.
So dark. We
Mine's
went
gonna
real
be something
dark.
stupid.
You guys were like,
yeah.
Caitlin went serious, but
I could go a little bit darker, but I don't think I will.
Oh,
Do you want me to?
yeah.
Oh, sure.
Okay, so
Okay.
to go a little darker off of both of your answers as well, this is kind of in line with the gold thing. So like maybe he gets thrown into however they melt down the money.
ooh,
Ooh.
and he becomes credits.
He is the money.
That's like a
He's the
that's like
money.
the Targaryen brother in
That's
Game of
what I
Thrones
was
there.
saying.
Yeah.
Gone for a
Okay,
king.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
You did take us darker. You did
We're all
take
on the
us
same
darker.
page.
Hey, I don't.
All right,
I don't
Angie,
think
you got to take us even darker.
All right, we're going darker. He's going to be
Yeah.
forced to become Neil's family butler.
Ooh, that's pretty rough.
He has to clean up after Neil's.
baby.
The judge
Babies.
orders him to become the family butler. Is
Yeah,
that-
you got what I was saying. Yeah.
Mm.
He has to draw all of Neil's baths for eternity,
Oh yeah.
but can
That's it.
never take one himself.
That's it.
And he's kept in line by SM33, so he
Mm.
has to do it.
That's beautiful.
I'm
Oh
gonna
my
go
God.
even darker.
No
I'm
way.
gonna go the darkest. I want him to be trapped in an endless simulation that plays YouTube videos, 5-hour YouTube videos about why The Rise of Skywalker is the worst Star Wars movie over and over again for the rest of eternity. Until
That's
the end
bad.
of
That's
time.
pretty rough.
That's
the
really
darkest
bad.
timeline.
That actually might be the worst one.
That
That's
might be.
I went
I
dark.
know
I'm sorry I went so dark.
Okay, that's pretty good. All good answers. All good answers. I was gonna say something like he has to be forced to watch the Christmas special
The
musical
little clip
performance
they
thing.
keep
'Cause
playing.
I
he
said
saw it and he like
punishment.
hated it, but well, for him it would be. He didn't seem
I
too into it
guess.
when he pulled
Just
it up.
over and over again.
He
I mean,
could-
if
he could
that's
be
all he
won
listens
over
to.
by that.
Yeah. Okay.
Not like,
Yeah.
and it's only that like 3-second clip that we see. It's not
Yeah,
even
oh my
the, full,
God.
the full piece. It's just
Yeah.
the 3-second clip. Like no,
A
no.
On a
GIF.
loop.
It's basically a GIF.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a GIF and it has no audio. He's just like, what the hell is this? And he's just watching like this silent 3-second thing over and over again. It's perfect.
Yeah.
The first canon GIF in Galaxy.
That's it.
Could be. Matt, that was good. That was your best question
good
yet,
one.
I think. They've all been pretty
Mhm.
good, but that was good.
All right. I came
You're
up
getting
with that on the
better
fly.
as the episodes are getting better each week. So are you with the questions. So
That's big.
moving
That means
on
a lot.
to character swap nonsense, which we Jamie, you want to explain our character swap
Yeah,
for any
it's some
newbies here?
nonsense. It is
Yeah.
some nonsense, that's for sure. So character swap is when we try to swap two characters, so one out of Star Wars and put them into another universe and take that one and put it in their place. And so we try to stick to Skeleton Crew for this one, even specifically this episode if you can, but if not, it's all good. So I'll give our guests the first chance at character swap so far. Who would
go
you switch
first,
out?
Caitlin.
You go first, Charlotte. I went first last time.
Okay. All right. Okay. And I hope I like understood this properly. Okay.
It's for fun.
Yeah, it's just for fun. Okay. If I were to swap, I want to swap. It's one character, right?
Yeah.
Okay, one character. I'm gonna swap Neil into the original 1993 Jurassic Park,
Mm.
and he is now Tim, the little child, like the kid, and not yeah.
Wow.
And Tim is now in the Skeleton Crew.
Perfect.
Just
Oh
feel
my God,
right.
nailed
that
it.
means Neil's getting
That's
great.
Neil's getting
So
fried.
stressed.
Neil's
Yeah.
getting fried on that electrical fence.
Oh yeah, he's gonna lose hearing in one
Ooh.
ear.
Oh my goodness.
This is pretty dark, guys.
Okay.
It's
I didn't mean
tragic.
that. I just was like kid for kid, but
Yeah.
Good.
It's a really good swap, but man, this is a really dark start to the episode this week. I have to say.
do that.
Whew.
Okay, mine is maybe a little lighter, and maybe a little bit of a cheat. But I have been watching Abbott Elementary. I've been going through it for the first time, so I am swapping the supervisor for Principal Coleman from
Mm.
Abbott Elementary. I just wonder what chaos would ensue in both
Ava
at
at the
Atten
head
and
of-
Abbott Elementary.
At Atten Elementary.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
Oh,
That's a good one.
Hello.
Both
We got
really good
something.
ones.
That
Yeah.
reveal would be great.
yeah.
That'd be
that's
good.
the
That's a
next
good one.
crossover episode. They did the Always Sunny one. Now
Really
they
good
got to do the Skeleton Crew one.
Oh, they did do the Always Sunny one.
Yeah, I haven't watched
Yeah,
it yet.
they
I got to
did
watch it.
last
Huh.
night, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think
Night
it just
ago?
dropped.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Jamie, what you got?
What do I have? Okay,
Yeah.
it's simple. It's very simple. So the little rat Snowball in SM33's eye, I'm gonna trade him out and trade him with Scrat from Ice Age, the little squirrel.
Ooh, that's a good
That's
one.
a good
Runner.
one.
With the acorn?
That's a good one.
Yeah, with the acorn. So he's always
Okay.
trying to find a place to put the acorn, right? So he's probably like trying to like shove the acorn like into SM33's like head the entire time. Like that is it. He would just be there, and
Be a safe
Snowball
spot for it.
Snowball would just be like screaming the entire time in Ice Age, just trying to find SM33.
I like it. He would fit right into it with the name Snowball.
Yeah.
So, in Ice
That's
Age,
true.
So.
That's a good one.
Matt, what do you have?
Okay, so
Are you still thinking?
this one I got one, but it's
Okay.
weird. I'm gonna take Jod and I'm gonna put him in The Simpsons season 4 episode 2 episode A Streetcar Named Marge, in which Marge is super frustrated by all of Homer's like idiosyncrasies, and she gets really angry, and that brings out like a really good performance in the play. So Jod can just piss Marge off the whole episode until she learns to like kind of appreciate his endearing qualities as well. And I'm putting Homer in this episode so I can see basically that episode where he goes to space. and he lets all the ants and the chips loose in the space shuttle. But it's in the Onyx Cinder, and he's
That's a good
floating
one.
around.
Homer and Skeleton Crew is actually perfect. It's so
yeah.
good. I
Is
love that.
Jod animated or is he real life Jod?
He's
And
live
vice
action.
versa. And then Homer is animated?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the correct answer. Yeah.
I see division.
I like it. That's good. Brilliant. It is a little weird, but I think that works. It's very on brand for you. So mine's not as crazy, but I just went with switching out Wendell, Wim's father, who's super dweeby and kind of a stiff, but pretty nice guy. And he's going to be switching with Milton from Office Space.
Okay.
So he'll be wanting his red stapler and wanting to burn the building down.
Yeah,
It's kind of
birthday cake.
Yep. He won't get the cake. And then
No.
Milton will be Wim's dad in Skeleton Crew.
I feel like
They're
he
pretty
would be a
similar,
good
honestly.
dad. No, I think Milton would be a good dad. I think
Probably.
I think he would too, but who
He'd
knows?
spend more time with Wim than Wendell does.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, they hug at the end, and we'll get to that.
Yeah,
We'll
that's
get to
okay.
that, we'll get
It's
to
all- it's
that.
all okay now.
It is for now. Well, kind of. So with that, good segue into our Skeleton Crew breakdown, which the main entree, as I always say, of our stream here of our episode.
The main course.
The main course. So I want to kick things off with asking the Skytalkers, like, what have you guys been thinking about this show? I know I've seen you guys online really loving it, just like mostly everyone seems to be. Who's been your favorite character so far? Tell us a little bit how you're feeling about the show.
It's been
Caitlin?
so fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been such a fun adventure show. I know I talked about this a lot when the show was coming out, but having it released during Christmas and the idea of like watching it with the Christmas lights on and all these kids having this, adventure off their planet for the first time, it fits so perfectly. And I think I've just been having such a fun ride with them. As far as my favorite character, it really is like picking my favorite child, and I can't do it. This week, I think it was Wim, but it honestly changes every week. I truly can't pick a favorite. It's impossible.
Yeah. For me, I have been loving the series. I think it's amazing, and I think it's just so good. I'm sort of astounded by how good it is, honestly. Like, I didn't really have huge expectations when this project was announced, and I feel like any sort of expectations, it's like fully exceeded, and I think the quality is super high. I love it. Loved this week's episode too. And my favorite character is probably Fern, but I think KB is also really up there as a major favorite.
Yeah.
I was gonna say KB with your favorite.
Yeah, I really love her. I think she's so awesome.
KB's definitely seems to be a fan favorite among a lot of people, for sure.
I mean, across the board, like for us, I think KB is like our favorite as well. And of course, Neil.
She won. She like cleared the board last week for best character.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Episode MVP.
Always
Oh, yeah.
does.
But,
Yeah.
that was her episode. She really shined in that episode.
For sure. I mean, last episode was so good.
And I like how you talk about, I think Charlotte mentioned the expectations going into the show, because some of these shows that I haven't had higher expectations for, and I guess that's how it goes. Like, you don't expect much and then you're blown away. But like Andor, I loved Cassian and Rogue One, but that show blew us all away.
Mhm.
This show has been like that. And even Bad Batch for me, like, I know Jamie was always a mega Bad Batch fan, as we've all seen, but I was like, okay, they're gonna make a show about these guys. And then like, I was like, this thing was perfection. Like, this show was great. And this show, Skeleton Crew, is kind of followed in the same footsteps as those shows, I think.
Do you remember where we were when they announced it? Because we were at Celebration.
Oh, I
we
remember.
Were?
And we were getting all the updates on Twitter
Before the
about,
publishing
like,
panel.
No, we
In
weren't in
Anaheim?
the publishing panel. I thought we were on the floor.
Yeah,
Anaheim,
right
yes.
before.
Yeah.
We were on the floor and we were like just like refreshing the pages because the main like event where they were announcing things was happening, and of course we didn't get in, so we were just kind of sitting there going like, come on, and then we got like, and they're making a show called Skeleton Crew, and it's got
Like, oh, that logo looks cool.
So,
And I
can
was
we
like,
tell you
oh.
that we were in the room, and the vibe when they were like, and Jude Law's in it was like so weird.
It was
Right?
the weirdest
was
moment
so
I've
random.
ever experienced at a
Yeah.
convention. It was like the most mid reaction I've ever heard for an A-list celebrity like Jude Law. It was so
like,
weird.
we
Yeah.
like Jude Law. In
Oh,
fact,
yeah.
we love Jude Law. And it was just-
Even
it's the
then, we
way
were
that-
like, yeah, yay.
it's the way
Yeah.
they announced it. They were like, "We're doing the show, and Jude Law's in it."
And we're like, oh.
You have
context.
this huge headshot of Jude Law.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't come out on stage, and everybody's
Yeah,
just like,
Right,
oh.
that's the thing. It was just this
okay.
huge photo of him.
And then John Watts and Chris Ford's like itty bitty on the stage, and Jude Law's huge face.
Yeah, and I hate to say that kind of did play something into my expectation where it was like that was so funny.
That was a
weird.
funny announcement.
Yeah, that and they even came on stage in London, which was really amazing and loved that. But that really stayed with us to the point where we're
Yeah.
still Caitlin and I frequently harp on this.
We've told this story so many times, and it's honestly not even like a good story.
It's
but
not.
it stuck with us.
Yeah, I did.
Hey, sometimes those are just the memories.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
honestly,
Yeah.
now
I think in
looking
London,
back
they had
at
the
it,
kids with them. So
yeah, the kids
Oh,
and the kids were like,
yeah.
"Oh my god, the kids are so cute. It's amazing. Like this is gonna be so fun." But
Mhm.
again, no context. It was just the show's coming.
Jude
Yeah.
Law is crushing it though. So now
I know.
Jude Law's big forehead on a giant screen is definitely a selling point for this show.
I
for
scream
me
a
at
lot
least.
louder this time. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
that.
That would be,
Yeah.
if we knew what we were getting out of Jude, it would be a bigger deal.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
I think that's
You'd have-
probably
you'd have 'em on
one
their
of the
feet.
reasons the show has been as awesome as it's been, because like we didn't really know what to expect, and we haven't really been given anything else aside from, all right, here it is, like 1 month before, all right, here's your show, and like this is it. And like that's, I don't like the lack of like publicity for it, but at the same time it's just like, you know what, it's fine, I enjoy it.
Mhm.
I'm really enjoying the show, and I have like the entire
It's-
time.
It's sort of tricky doing publicity for something too, and marketing for like something that's not well known. Like when Kenobi's coming out,
Yeah.
okay, or Ahsoka, we know about those characters, and we know where the story's continuing from. This was just something brand new. All we knew, the only character in it we knew was Vane from Mandalorian, essentially.
Which is
Yeah.
hilarious. And
Yeah, I
he's
know.
still the only character that's from anything else. Like every
I
single
know,
other
guys.
character in this is new.
What is
Yeah.
up with that?
How does that happen?
It's awesome.
How are we getting a Star
It's
Wars
so
show
cool.
where the only recurring character is like a glup shitto had like one line
Yeah.
in The Mandalorian season 3? Where did that
But
come from?
it's amazing to get new original characters that are awesome. Like,
Yeah.
and of course, we've gotten that in other series as well, but like these ones are really sticking. Like Neil kind of feels like the new Grogu in a way. Like everyone's buying the merch. It's Matt's only Funko Pop in the background there that he's ever had. next to
everything.
Lula.
There you go. Louise.
But yeah, it's been a great episode. I hope it does well. I hope it's doing well, and
Yeah,
we'll see
I
where that
hope
goes.
the positive reception to this show has been pretty universal.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping that they see like it has, potential for more and
Yeah.
green light more seasons. I'd love to see, I'd love to see where this goes, but there's like one episode
Of
left, and
course.
I'm hoping everything wraps up pretty solidly.
Yeah,
This is a show that feels like it will gain momentum after it's done. As a complete, and I think it's already doing that. I've seen some people talk about that, how it's going up the charts in the Nielsen data.
Yeah,
And-
as long as it's growing.
Yeah, totally. And in
Mhm.
fact, I've had anecdotal evidence of people that I know being like, "Oh, I'm going to start it" in the past week.
Oh, same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I've heard the same. A lot of people like starting it like right now, just so they can watch it like all like
Totally.
one
Yeah,
episode
there.
each night, or just binge it like over the weekend. So that checks
Yeah.
out.
it's very user friendly. I guess it's very like
Yeah.
someone that doesn't know anything about Star Wars can pretty
It's
much
accessible.
watch
It's
it. Yeah,
a good way to
accessible.
it's
describe
easy
it.
to just pop in. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
for
a
sure.
good way to put it.
Which is great. But yeah, with all that being said, it's good to get your thoughts, kind of the summary thoughts going into the penultimate episode here. So let's get into this episode here, and kind of kicks off with the parents all huddled together in the woods, with like a, some sort of communication device. And I know Jamie,
An
we were just
ET
doing
device.
the rewatch. Yeah, the
They
ET
needed some
device.
Reese's
Yeah.
Pieces in there.
Jamie had a
Oh.
good thought on this little device before the droids caught them. They were fiddling around with it, but
I loved like I love how this episode was the an episode. First of all, like it pretty
Mm,
much was almost in its entirety, either on at or just in the orbit. I thought that was just super fun. But the device specifically, the droids keep referring to it as like drop the device, drop the communication device, and then later on when the projection is playing, Fern's mom, I forget her name.
Numa.
Farah.
Fern's mom is Farah. Oh my gosh, sorry.
right.
Numa and Neil. We got to keep all the letters.
Numa
Okay.
and Neil.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Farah.
Oh, yeah, that makes
Farah.
sense.
Fern's mom, Farah. That makes sense. She refers to it specifically as a communication buoy, which is like straight out of the High Republic,
Arr.
and I like also very
And also
piratey as well,
nautical.
just a buoy. Also very
Arr.
piratey and nautical. But yeah, that's straight out of the High Republic, especially like the earlier
Oh, yeah.
phase 2, because like they send the communication buoys because they straight up can't project as far into the galaxy with their messages, and so I thought that was just like very cool that they're like cobbling together this like little buoy that they know about, and then just all right, there it goes.
Send it off.
It's just
Yep.
like more.
And that
I
thing,
still feel like it's the High Republic of what Republic they're talking about, but
Yeah.
that's another topic.
The weekly,
that thing
the
got
weekly debate.
distance. Let me tell you, that thing
It
was
went.
I
flying.
know.
She tossed it up in the air, and that thing was out of there in no time, making it all the way outside of the barrier.
This is
Once we
crazy.
saw the barrier and how deep it was,
Yeah,
it was
right.
like,
The
Oh, I know.
barrier's like a
that
gas
was like
giant.
a toaster size
This thing's just
buoy.
floating
Farah
along.
Toasters,
Flung a
actually.
toaster like into orbit, like nuts.
But yeah, we've been talking about the entire time, like what republic do we think that Adatin is referring to? Like a High Republic, older, the prequel republic. Where do you guys stand on that? Like, which republic do you think that Adatin is referring to at this point?
We've talked about this a ton, but not actually we've talked about them not knowing about the New Republic, but
Definitely.
I would say we haven't really dived into specifically which republic. I think I've always been thinking it's the Republic of the prequel era, but
Mm.
now I don't know.
Can you think about it?
No, it's
tough.
it's a tough one. I've been bouncing back
Yeah.
and forth between whether it's the High Republic, the Old Republic with a capital
that's
O,
Yeah.
or the Old Republic, like Obi-Wan says in A New Hope, but just referring to the prequels. You know, I don't know.
Lowercase o.
Yeah,
I mean,
lowercase.
Didn't Kim say old, like the planets were formed in the Old Republic? Like
Yeah.
all the jewels of the Old Republic. So
Yeah.
in my
Yeah.
head, I was like, it's the Old Republic, but that doesn't. There's still a timeline piece that's missing because of the disappearance of those other planets and things like that. I'm like very unclear around
Oh, yeah.
hundreds of years, the centuries, the decades. Like, what?
Yeah, like I'm honestly wondering if they're keeping it ambiguous because like they don't want to like dedicate
Which is
like
fine.
Old Republic lore in canon yet, but like
And does it
It
does it
could
really
be if you
matter?
want it.
Do you think it like
It-
really
no.
matters? Probably not.
it doesn't really matter. But
Yeah.
I would like them to talk about the Old Republic just a little bit, like the
Yeah.
capital O Old Republic.
I want to know specifically because we know that they don't know about the New Republic and they don't know about the wars, or at least
Mhm.
the kids don't. So I think that's what I want to know. I want to see them find out what's actually happened in the galaxy.
Yeah,
Right.
Wim never really finds out what happens to the Jedi.
I know.
You know,
I know.
he probably still thinks
The
the,
fact
Jedi
that
are like
they don't know
running around.
anything about the history of what's going on. Like, they have no idea.
Nobody
They really
does.
have just been entrenched in the pirate stuff. Like,
Literally,
Yeah.
like we were, all of us, like I know I was, a lot of like memes and stuff. Everybody was talking about like, oh, wait until the kids learn about like the Clone Wars and all, and you know, wait until Wim learns that the
There was
the
no
Jedi
time
don't
for that.
exist anymore. And now we're like on the second to last episode, and they could not be fussed. They don't give a shit about any of that, and I'm fine
the
with
kids
that.
still
Like, it's,
haven't seen Star Wars.
I
yeah,
know. Yeah.
completely isolated still.
How do you?
This is so we were talking about this today because I think this is my like I'm going crazy about it a little bit because I totally thought that the kids when they left they would break the false reality that is at Atten because they would bring back the knowledge that the Republic is no more.
Yeah,
But they never really learned that, and what they did learn about at Atten their parents already know that it's a secret
Yeah.
planet, that it's hidden. So I'm just so curious about what is going to happen next week as far as wrapping that up. Will they find out more? Did KB smuggle a history book from Kim's library? I
Right.
don't know.
That'd be nice.
Maybe.
That would
Right?
I mean,
Yeah.
like, whatever the parents know, obviously they weren't going to record all of it on that buoy because they still want it to be secret because they only refer to it as find a Republic emissary. And so they are hopeful that there's someone out there who would be a Republic emissary. But if we knowing what era it is, we're like, okay, who would be a Republic
There's no
emissary?
Republic emissary.
Like, that doesn't
Yeah,
exist. So, like, who are they talking about?
Have
Who are they
we-
expecting? It's a lot.
Have we talked about where Wim got the book from? I feel like that's something they wouldn't have had on Atten. Maybe it's like a connection.
To the
Someone
mom.
off-world brought it.
I mean,
Oh.
if
With
it's
the Jedi
if-
book, that is. Yeah.
I'm really
Yeah,
hung up on the mom and where
Same.
the
I
mom
know.
is.
I
Yeah.
know.
I noticed this episode, Wendell is wearing his ring still. Because
He
when he
was
went to
the
hug
entire
Wim,
time.
he's wearing it.
It's
I just
always-
didn't notice it.
It's always
Oh,
kind of
that's a good
bothered me
catch.
because that's never been a thing in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Wedding
Yeah.
Wedding rings. I don't
Rings
think.
isn't a thing.
Like I guess Leia wears one in the sequels, like a little bit. Like it's
And
supposed to
It's
be.
Anakin
not a
had
wedding
one.
ring though. It's like it's
Anakin
just
had
a-
one under his glove.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. It's not really a wedding ring. Like not in the same.
Yeah.
But this is
Yeah.
also another reality. So,
like
I mean,
a utopia.
it exists outside the regular Star Wars galaxy. So maybe they have wedding rings.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
it's
it
just,
is.
Atta
Maybe
Atten
that's a
stuff.
utopian
Norm
ideal
there.
that we're
Yeah,
all
it's a
living up
utopia
to.
thing.
Yeah.
Why not?
You
That's so
guys were
interesting though. I
the-
didn't pick up on that. And that feels significant.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's
though,
married to the
but-
supervisor.
Oh.
Ooh.
We don't know. I
No,
mean,
no.
like,
Stephen Fry. He's not married to Stephen Fry. He could be,
Yeah.
but, but who knows?
You guys were the ones who asked the showrunners, if I have that right, about Atten and why
Yeah.
why it was named that. Okay, yeah, that was a
Yeah,
good
we
question.
did.
oh yes,
In hindsight, I feel like we had only seen 3
Three.
episodes when we asked them that. And I still think it was an interest. Like I stand by the question, but it is confusing. Like why did they call it that, and why are there why are all the planets at? Like it's weird.
It is weird.
It's just one of those like idiosyncratic Star Wars naming conventions that they just come up with, you know?
Totally.
Well, it's weird because like it literally, at like the Imperial
That's the
Walker. It
thing.
sounds
Well,
like
yeah,
at,
that's
so
yeah.
It was right there. I feel like
Yeah.
it was that was the joke. But then when we we had only seen the first 2, Caitlin, or something when we asked that, because they then have, or I don't remember, they talk about the other ats. Like when we learned that, we were like, oh, okay, there's other ats. I don't know.
Yeah. But they still seem surprised by the question of Atten and the AT-AT at. Like, oh, we've never heard of that before. And I feel like everyone else all of us, were like, that
That was
that
my
was the
first
first thing we
thought.
thought
That's
of.
interesting. Yeah.
So that's the thing. Is that just media training though? And then is there something else
Yeah.
around the name, and we're just picking up on something that's like not actually there? I don't
Which is
know.
funny.
I don't
a
know.
bit
Yeah.
of both. It's
Could
the kind
be.
of thing you're hyper focused on the one use of your thing, and then someone's like, "Oh, by the way, that also means this," and it's like, "No, what?"
Yeah.
And so like that's probably exactly what that situation was. Although
Yeah,
that
we've got,
one
like,
is
tunnel vision, and they're like,
really
we
on
can
the nose.
actually know what happens. So it's okay.
Yeah.
So I think in the episode, it kind of goes to the kids on the Onyx Cinder
Okay,
now.
can we talk about that? Can we talk
Did I
about
miss
one more
something?
thing in the
Sure.
forest scene?
The
Yeah.
droids,
The parents are just so bad at running, guys.
especially Wendell.
Take up like one cardio, like
I'm so glad
just
you
take up
brought this
like
up.
just a little bit.
I was
Just
like,
run a
we're
little
really
bit.
running slow.
Oh,
There's
my
gotta be a galactic Zumba
God.
class there.
When I tell you they
What?
broke out into the lightest trot imaginable,
they
not,
got the
even,
spirit though.
not even a sprint.
Would you have done better, Matt?
Yes,
I've seen
even
you
I've
run.
done better, and
Even
I'm
with
like
tonsillitis.
Look,
with tonsillitis, which affects your running. Definitely does.
they had the spirit, and that's what counts. And
They
it
had the
starts with
spirit.
Neil's mom, and she's literally just like, no hesitation. I'm gonna run. Like I'm
She'll be
gonna go
fine.
for it. Like
And then she
immediately.
gets stunned.
So
She'll
she
be
didn't get
fine.
a chance to run. But I agree.
Just like
Zero-
zero speed though. It was
Zero
yeah.
speed. Wendell,
zero
dude
speed.
might have been running on a treadmill. I don't even know. Like, dude was not going anywhere.
He wasn't going anywhere. No,
He was not going anywhere.
he's
It
very
was a
up,
funny little sequence.
he's very upright. He's a very like stiff individual.
Very
Yeah.
His, his
upright.
outfit doesn't seem to help him. It's a
That's
very
also
like
true.
stiff.
Well, I think that was
forming.
probably for Farah. I feel like that really her many robes that she was wearing. I feel like that was hindering her a little bit. But she got the boot
Yeah.
out. It's all good.
That's true. She pulled it off.
yeah.
She pulled it off.
Yeah,
doubt-
Slow and steady.
And I doubt she got stunned at the end too, because the droids were just like, "Where'd it go? It's gone. You're
Okay.
coming with us."
Probably never had to run before. You're right.
they probably have
Everything's
that.
on a track. What are they doing?
I'm glad you brought that up, Matt. That was actually a very important thing that we had.
It was to
yeah.
me because it was like, oh my god,
That
this
was
is
it.
hilarious.
It was a good moment. But the kids, we transitioned to the kids on the Onyx Cinder, and Wim is super bummed out that he has to go home. It's like us leaving Star Wars Celebration or something like that, or leaving Disney World. or some sort of fun trip. He's going home. His adventure's over. And I think it's funny this whole time he hasn't wanted to go home. And it's pretty sad because, you know, his home life is boring and his dad's kind of a stiff and doesn't want to tell him bedtime stories. So
can't run.
And he can't run. So
zero agility.
Absolutely zero agility. Yeah. But what did you guys think? Like, you know, of the kids returning home and their reaction, sort of, you know, Wim was the only one bummed out. Everyone else was like, yeah, we're going home. Misa going home, as Jar Jar would say. But, I don't know.
And Fern like gives him the little like pep talk of just like, oh, things will be fine. Like things probably, maybe they'll like let us keep the ship. Maybe we'll have like different experiences. And it's funny how she's fully. It was weird how she like fully turned on the whole. Yeah, well, it's gonna be fine. It's all gonna like work out, and like she's not nervous like at all until later. I don't know. They're all just like happy-go-lucky, and it was good just to see like all the kids and just the kids being on the ship.
Yeah. I love the moment where Fern tells Wim that she's glad he pushed the button after he says, you know, I shouldn't have pushed it at all. And she's the one who said, I'm glad you pushed it, because they've butted heads the most. Really, Fern being so frustrated at Wim's actions throughout the show and how he's always rushing into things. So I thought it was really important for their friendship and their character development that she was the one to say, you know, I'm glad you pushed the button. I'm glad we all went on this adventure together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I also think it was important in this episode to continue, like, pick up that thread of the fact that Wim is the only one really dissatisfied by his home life, and that he just really yearned for adventure. And then this reassurance from especially Fern, I think that was good, because I think Fern and Wim are our two main protagonists in this group, honestly. And I think that reassurance from Fern, like Caitlin said about like, I'm glad you pushed the button and everything's going to be fine, I think meant a lot to Wim, and we see that at the end when they approach the planet and they're both like, they're all excitedly gazing upon the beauty of At-Aten in a different light.
I loved each moment that we got of the kids looking at the barrier and then eventually breaking through and seeing At-Aten, and it's just like the little pause. When we did our like rewatch of it, it's like your heart gets like stuck in your throat a little bit actually, like watching it again, because it's like, oh my god, they actually made it home, and like it's just like it's a really beautiful moment. Yeah.
I love how KB in that moment specifically is like, At-Aten looks so big from up here, and it was a nice parallel to, I didn't know there were so many stars, something similar that she said when they broke through the barrier. It was kind of the same feelings, this wonder of returning home, but this also that previous wonder of leaving home.
Seeing it all in a new light. It was just gorgeous.
Totally.
Yeah.
It came full circle.
It did come full circle.
There we
go. I think that's two so far.
We did it.
Planet. Yeah.
We did it.
The camaraderie and the relationship between the kids has really driven this show, as well as Jod's Sleemo-ness.
Jod's relationship with the kids has really driven this show. It was quite.
Oh, that's been a roller coaster. But I really love the Wim Fern, like Jamie, you brought it up there, and Charlotte or Caitlin brought it up too, with them butting heads this whole time.
Yeah, that was all.
But like last episode, they kind of got through. They broke through that. The tough conflicts happened, the arguments happened. They split ways. They came back together. Now they're stronger than ever. And I like that it's Fern coming to Wim and comforting him, because early on they were just kind of yelling at each other and teasing each other. So
and there was a moment where at Akron, right, where Wim goes to Fern to comfort her. So this was a great parallel to another full circle moment, some might say.
Full circle.
Definitely.
Of now Fern going to Wim. Yeah.
Beautiful.
I love it.
Were they were Neil and Fern playing grab ball in the beginning in the hallway?
Oh, that's right.
Like, were they?
Yeah, they were.
They gotta be.
I think so, yeah.
We love some nice grab ball around here.
Or not grab ball. Neil specifically said what the game was.
What was it?
Slap ball?
Slap ball. That's
Slap
what it is.
ball.
Yeah.
Slap ball.
Neil is really good at it, but I can't see it. I'll be honest.
Fern was absolutely like smoking him with it. So
Now we have to see the parents play some slap ball now.
Oh my god, slowest game ever.
It'll be brutal.
I'll be sleeping before that's over. Yep.
So next thing we know, the pirates come out of nowhere. They come out of hyperspace to see AT-AT in their big, huge carrier ship thing.
I love the pirate ship.
Yeah.
I love the pirate ship so much.
It's kind of like an upside down ship. I don't know why that dawned on me like this time around watching it. It's got like the mast sticking out of the bottom.
So true.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then
true.
it's like kind of concave at the top. So it's like
It also
an
just-
upside down
that's
ship.
good.
That's so interesting.
combination of that. It kind of looks like a fish hook. It kind of looks like an anchor. There's a lot of.
All the same.
I've had a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of.
Nautical imagery.
Yeah.
It's like you're watching clouds and you're like, oh, it looks like this. That's how I feel like looking at this pirate ship.
And once again, Mick Giacchino killing it with the score as
Yeah,
always. I love the
absolutely.
pirate theme
good.
and just everything's so good.
So good. So
But
good.
we get Jod still in custody, still in the handcuffs, which he breaks out of very easily later on. And he probably could have the whole time
It's all
here,
for
but
show.
he just didn't want to get shot or whatever. But Brutus, him and Brutus butting heads is
Freaking
also my
Brutus.
favorite thing in this show.
Stupid jerk.
Brutus is
I freaking hate Brutus.
I like Brutus.
I love
Love
Brutus
Brutus.
like as like a character because he's cool, but dude sucks.
Yeah.
John says he's so stupid, and he kind of is.
He's an
He is.
idiot. He's
Yeah, he calls him
biggest
dumb.
The moment
moron
they
in the
roll up to
galaxy.
AT-AT and Brutus is like, "What is this? Like this isn't it? Like, can we just look a little deeper? Like, I don't know."
Like we literally arrived to the location and there's something there. That's not a planet. Oh,
Yeah, I forget
Okay.
it.
He's a dumb
Okay.
boy. A dumb boy that
Oh my god.
died.
And I was waiting. Oh my god, I was waiting for him to get murked. This entire show I was waiting for it.
It happened
He
quicker
was
than I
on
thought. but
borrowed time.
We'll get there.
It was a good death, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
It was very good. So Jod is, arguing with Brutus, and he gets tossed in the airlock. And I have to say, like, Brutus was trying to tell the guy to do the airlock. The guy was taking forever. Like, good thing he wasn't good at listening to orders, because Jod would have been toast.
Well,
He went to the
because
parents' school of running, but for pressing buttons.
But like pressing the button really slow.
Here I go.
I
This
think
is
it
my
just
favorite bit. I'm like dying over here.
oh my god. I think it just goes to show Jod literally says to Brutus that the crew loves him and that
Yeah, and it's true.
and it is what it is. And so he's in the airlock and the crew is hesitating so long because they're like, nah, this guy actually is like a better leader. And so they're literally every excuse to not kill him. And that's why he doesn't do it. That's why he went to the parent school of running on opening and closing doors.
Yeah, no kidding.
Are we going to see all the kids and parents running next week, and the parents are just way behind, and the kids are like, "You gotta hurry up!" Like, oh my god.
Come
There
on.
will definitely be running next week.
They're like,
I'm
we're
I'm
going
betting
as
on
fast
that.
as we can.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, right?
It's gonna be a disaster.
Oh my god.
I did skip over my guy Glurb. I think his name's Glurb.
Dude, rip
Glurb.
Glurb.
Who wanted to
Red.
have the
Red.
weed farm or whatever.
Dude, the glowweed farm.
plantation.
Yeah.
The ragweed farm? That sounds awful.
Really
Ew.
bad.
As somebody with a cold right now, I can imagine.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
already
The
wheezing.
worst.
Glowweed.
Glowweed, okay.
Glowweed.
Close,
There we go.
alright.
Ragweed. Yeah, he went down, and then I love how Job's just like, let's send another. Let's try
Dude,
another one.
Immediately.
So good.
The comedic timing.
Run
The
it
crew
again.
loves me. No, send another one.
Yeah. I really loved Glurb, so I was pretty sad about this too.
I was too. And he looked cool in his pilot outfit.
Yeah.
Devastated. Cool.
The
He's a
Ravager
ship.
1, his ship.
Yeah, yeah.
The most intense pirate name. The Ravager 1.
I haven't looked into
Ravager
it
one.
fully, but do we think? So do we think the big pirate command ship is the Ravager, and then possibly the little
Probably.
snub-nosed fighters are like 1, 2, whatever.
Could be.
Yeah, maybe.
Probably.
Okay.
It's a good
Ravager's
name.
name of,
so.
the name of one of the superstar destroyers.
Well, it can be a pirate ship too.
Unless
Yeah.
it's like
Why not?
something else, like there's the Ghost
see.
and then the Phantom. So it could be
Yeah,
like the
true.
Devastator, or I think that's already a ship.
That's already a
Plunder.
superstar
Yeah.
destroyer.
Well, my apologies.
Well,
Whatever.
hey, this
It's
is
too
my
many
week-
names.
this is my weekly Lucasfilm. If you're listening, and I know you are, what's the name of the ship?
Have they
I
ever
really-
revealed it? Could
I
I,
need to
find it
know.
like Google?
It's called
Googling?
the Big Brutus.
They
Friggin'
just call it, they
Big
call it the
Brutus.
frigate.
They do
they
just
do
call
keep
it the
calling it
frigate.
the
Yeah, they
frigate.
keep calling it the frigate.
It
Also, here I
deserves
go
a
just
name.
Googling
The
Brutus.
frigate deserves a name.
Brutus.
I
We
literally
literally
just
are
Googled
obsessed with
Brutus
the
and
term
learned about
frigate. We love to
Yeah.
say it. Frigate.
the
Frigate.
Yeah.
frigate.
Pirate frigate. He needs the frigate for firepower. Bring in the
Yeah.
frigate.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I need a name. All right, AJ, what's next?
Well, he doesn't go out the airlock. That old lady, who I don't remember her name, starts yelling, saves the
Old
day
lady
again.
loves him, dude.
Loves
Old
Jod.
lady
She
cannot
has
get enough of Jod.
She has a huge crush on Jod, probably.
Yeah, probably. Who
They have
doesn't?
history.
Yeah, maybe they have some
They
history.
definitely do, of
But
some
Yeah.
kind.
yeah, so he comes out. He has a plan because they see the Onyx Cinder go by into the storm, and they're like, "I got it! It's a key! It's a key to the thing!" And that turns out to be a heck of a thing, which we'll get to after. But they capture the Onyx Cinder, bring it in, and this is Matt. If you want to take it away, I know it was one of your talking points you sent me.
Oh, that I'm glad.
Brutus gets clawed.
I'm glad
and then
Brutus is dead. Was the thing I sent you?
that was your number one point from the episode.
That was my number one point. I'm
Or
so
number
sick
two.
of that dude.
Yeah.
He could not have been a more incompetent captain if he tried. Dude staged a mutiny and then could not deliver. So I was so like, as soon as he got clawed and he was sitting there and he was looking up at Jod, I was like, you know what to do, Jod. Just take him out, end our suffering, end our misery. I could not be happier with the way he went out. It was a nice death.
It was a good death.
It was a good
a good death.
pirate's death.
I was
Caught in a
shocked.
big mechanical
I was
claw, getting
so
shot in the
shocked.
face.
Me
I
too.
was shocked too.
Were you guys shocked?
I was
Oh,
not.
yeah.
really.
I was
You-
fully
you-
expecting that to happen.
Matt
As
was
soon
not
as it-
Matt's been plotting his death from day one.
literally
For real.
dreaming about like, oh, is Brutus gonna die this week? Hopefully.
This
Just
is better
ticking
than my
off the
dreams.
time.
Oh.
Yeah, it was way better.
I think I jumped a little, but like I was like,
I was surprised. I mean, Jod is ruthless, and in this episode, he showed that. And I know Matt. We're
But
gonna get
even
to the,
if he wasn't, that's the right move. Like when
Oh no, absolutely.
It's-
I'm not. I didn't say I disagree. I was just still surprised.
as soon as he gets trapped, if you're a pirate, you have to take him out. You have to
You're
take
right.
him out. That's the rule.
and because
True.
he knew
That's
right before that, he
pirate
says
code.
the crew loves him. He says that twice, which is very
Exactly.
funny. The crew loves me. No, they like the treasure. No, the crew loves me.
The crew loves
doesn't
him.
shoot him, and they don't like Brutus. If they
they
liked
just
Brutus, they would have shot him.
he just shot their captain and nobody cares.
Nobody cared.
Everybody's like
No one moved
raises
the
their
muscle.
blasters in like obligation, and then they're like, "Eh."
Well,
Actually,
I
Well,
feel like
and
Gunter
even-
kind of liked him.
2 weeks ago,
Yeah,
Jod
that's true.
says, Brutus is a good first mate. And I was like, how is no
Mm.
one, how is Brutus himself not
People were like,
upset about
yeah,
this?
true, good first mate, not that good captain.
Yeah, I'm insulted for Brutus. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
right? And
Brutus
Brutus,
also-
didn't care. He
Brutus
just let
also-
it
He's
slide.
dumb.
he like
He's
never
dumb.
made the move to like kill Jod though. He could have, as
Mhm.
Jod did to him, but he just never made the move for it. So like,
Yeah.
Weak.
whoops.
The claw moment was great, though. I love that the kid
Was.
just snatched him up.
Yeah.
Great move on their part.
I love how much the
Yeah.
claw has been like used this entire season of them just like messing around with it at
Mhm.
first, and then the whole Lanupa with the elders.
That was great.
And
That was
then
perfect.
this is probably the best use of it though, which is
Yeah.
very cool.
What is the actual use for that thing? Just picking up like cargo?
Yeah, it's a
That's
cargo
what I
loader.
was wondering. It's very claw machine. It's not.
It is.
To pick up credits,
The
because this is a credit ship
claw.
or a
That's true.
mid ship.
A payload.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Picking up
yeah.
payloads.
Right word.
Pick it up directly or like drag it in, probably.
Okay.
But still, I almost think I don't know, like lifting a cargo thing, but it's claw. I don't know.
Yeah.
It
No, I
might
can
convert.
see it.
I mean, that's exactly it.
Claw's cooler.
They can definitely like,
Claw.
convert to like
Claw fixes the plot. to
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
through it.
why not?
Can let the
and I
ship
loved-
feel the credits run through its fingers because you gave it a claw, you gave it a hand.
Matt.
True.
Okay.
I really liked KB using her voice thing again. She hasn't used that since early on, and
Oh yeah, you're right.
it reminds me of like it's like very like Kylo Ren-y voice, but like the Toys R Us Kylo Ren mask rather
Yeah,
than
they're like
Yeah.
super hard to decipher.
Yeah.
For sure.
so she was playing around with that, and then
Full circle.
full circle, yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
for episode one
Here
or
we go
two.
again.
Yeah, one or
But-
two. I think it was one.
That was
I
one.
think it was one on
Yeah.
that. And
Had to be one.
yeah, so the pirates, Jod now has his crew back, and he sends Pax and Kona, which Pax, I love Pax with the eye patch. Pax, I don't know.
Oh,
Uh,
there
They
you go.
send them on board, and they capture the kids. But at that same time, the balloon that Matt was talking about earlier makes its way finally
oh my
through like
god.
10 atmospheres into outer space. And the parents' message gets through, and it's pretty sad seeing all the parents talking. It's all the moms talking, and then the Neil's dad, I forget his name. He never talks.
No.
he never.
He was
And
there.
I was so worried that Wendell was not going to appear in the message because they went through like all the
Yeah.
moms and Wim's like waiting, and I'm like, holy crap, like is this dude really not showing up? And
That
then
would
he
be
finally
creepy.
did, but it wasn't like a big deal. Like I thought they were going to be like, ooh, look, he's here and
Yeah.
he's talking to his son, but it like wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, because he talks about what was the quote? I have it in here. You weren't supposed to find out about this till after you graduated, or something like that.
Yeah.
And finding out about what Atten is really about, and like you can't leave, and if you do, you can't mention the planet's name. And then Jod's like, "Whoops."
Yeah, that was
That was
great.
funny.
He is
In his
Jod
helmet,
is just unbelievable.
He wears his
Uh-huh.
helmet again.
I
wore it
cheered
again.
seeing the helmet again. He just walking down like the hall, and he's just wearing it again, and I'm just like, oh, there he is. It's back. New jacket, helmet's back. It's such a good look.
Yeah.
He
Uh,
slayed.
Skytalkers, what do you think of the parents' message?
I thought it was really sad and
Mm.
great, and I liked the reactions to it. And I think Caitlin and I were talking about this a little bit before, that we appreciated seeing the kids' reaction to the message versus the parents, like watching the parents record it. I think it was a better perspective to have it on the kids. And I was really shocked to find out that basically all the adults know that Atten is supposed to be secret, that you find out when you graduate, that there's this rite of passage for graduating, and then you find out about it. How are they keeping this secret?
Yeah.
What?
Mm.
Graduating liars school. That's
No,
literally
but
that.
seriously.
Come on.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have
So
all these kids that don't know, half the population.
Yeah.
No, it's really strange.
It's really bizarre, but at the same time, like Atten's so self-sustainable, and like no one ever does leave. So I don't think that anyone would really be like, oh well, so and so actually went somewhere, so that means I'm gonna go as well. So
except maybe Wim's mom.
yeah. Oh, where did she go? I need to know. Maybe
what-
she's the Republic emissary.
What do you guys think about Neil's
Well,
mom?
that's
Like, do you guys have any takes on that?
Wim's mom.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but I don't know. I don't know what I said, but yeah, Wim's
Yeah.
mom.
I don't think I have any takes on Numa. Love her.
She's great. Needs to work on her cardio, but overall,
Yeah,
great.
very true.
Yeah. I feel like I don't know what to think, because obviously initially you think like, oh, the mom died and this is a tragic moment, but they never addressed that. So I don't know if we're gonna get any sort of I think this is more of a season 2 thing than a season 1 thing, but I wouldn't be surprised if the mom was left for some reason and left the planet, and that is sort of like core part of Wim's desire to also do something bigger. I don't know how that fits in, but I do feel like they could play that if they needed to.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when Charlotte had this theory, and I thought it was so good that Wim's mother is actually still alive, and maybe she has escaped Atten somehow, because it is interesting how they it comes up 2 or 3 times in the show, but it's never fully addressed or set out right that she's dead. He just says, I can't see my mom, and that's really kind of that on that. You know what I mean? While you were talking, though, I was thinking, we learned that KB was in a really big accident. And so I wonder if there is potential for them to somehow write Wim's mom into that too, because that would be interesting in future seasons if there is a connection between like KB and Wim that maybe had something to do with his mother. That's like really far down the line speculation, just kind of, I guess, like writing it in my head. But overall, I do think she's alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have like joked that she's maybe the supervisor. I saw that someone wrote that in the comments too, and I like maybe I don't know, but maybe it's a red herring for us to talk about that too.
I call that like the Crimson Dawn,
Boba Fett
effect in Book of Boba Fett or something. Like we can speculate all day, and we do. We speculate every week at least about these shows, and it's like, yeah, like it's Star Wars. As much as we love it, a lot of I don't want to say it's like simple storytelling, but it's I don't know. I don't know if that's like. But I mean, that is
not going to get super complex. They're not going to.
It doesn't
they're not
usually.
gonna put Crimson Dawn in Book of Boba
Yeah.
Fett, as cool as that would be.
Right.
They're not going to have like Amelia Clark show up,
And I think like I don't know, Matt, if you said it last week or someone else said it to me, but like they brought up. I think Dave Filoni once said recently, like the story given to you, like don't think too hard about it. It's pretty straightforward, and of course we all think very hard about it.
Yeah.
Although Matt, you're usually like the voice of reason on these things.
I try to be. But I come across as a wet blanket, so it's a tough job. It's rough.
I agree with you guys. I do think this is a simple story. So I think whatever I'm saying, I really don't think would ever be touched until if they did a season 2 or something.
Yeah. And you never know. I mean, you really, one of these days, something like this is going to happen. So
if they had dropped like, Wim, too much of his mother in him or something like that, like a parallel to Luke.
If they said that,
then you could speculate all you want. But literally all they've said is like, I can't see my mom anymore. For all we know, she's invisible, but not really.
Never know.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually my theory.
Mm-hmm.
She's been there the whole time. She's just, you can't see her.
No, that's a theory.
I like the supervisor theory. It's not a bad one. Or like,
but we heard his voice.
Yeah,
we heard a voice.
True.
We heard a voice.
Maybe has a voice modulator too, though. So
true.
And the whole place is run by droids.
Yeah,
that the parents are frustrated with.
I honestly like. There's a theory out there that the whole planet is just run by the droids. Like there is no supervisor.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think.
I think that is where this is all leading, because there's been a lot of times in which it's just like, oh, I'd like to talk. We're going to talk to the supervisor, and everyone's always complaining to the droids of, oh, you aren't being helpful, and the droids are always like, oh, we are being helpful. If you'll just do X, Y, Z, and we'll get you to where you need to go. And even John makes the comment this episode of, all right, yeah, that'll be better than talking to you droids. It's just been handed to us of.
But I'm also I cannot shake Renaud, Captain Renaud. Like,
so I know
he has to be the supervisor.
He has to be somebody.
I think
that's just a parallel story that we still haven't really like fully filled in there.
Yeah, Caitlin probably is right. He was the supervisor. He's dead, and the droids like just took over.
There was so many. There were so many one-off SM33 lines this episode where he's just like, "Oh, Captain Renaud did this, and Captain Renaud did this," and it's like, "Whoa, hey, wait a second!" Like there was a lot of, "Oh yeah, Captain Renaud decided to use the Mint ship, because it would make more sense," and all the kids are like, "Wait, what?" And so like that was a huge reveal that we completely glossed over, that the Onyx Cinder was a ship from Mad Atten originally, and then it left. And then it came back, and then it left again. So
how the hell did he get through the barrier in the first place? Did he steal? So he must have stolen the ship. Like it left
when it was out.
Yeah, while it was out, he stole it.
If it had the Mint, then at one point in whatever Republic age it was making money for, it obviously had to take that money out and distribute it. So that must have been when he got the ship, and then came back in. You know, I don't know. The timeline still really confuses me, but.
Same.
Yeah, I think Renaud was the supervisor. He's been gone a long time, and I think someone put in the chat that everything is automated now, and I totally agree with that. And it's like the droids were programmed to just kind of keep going, and no one's been the wiser for hundreds of years.
I mean, it's kind of like Camino and the cloning, where they were for I don't know how long, 15 years, 20 years, they just kept going.
When they were traveling down the elevator, just talking about the entire production, like Jod's literally like, "Oh, this is really nice, really impressive." That was so similar to Obi-Wan, and just being like, "Oh, this is very impressive." Like,
wow, cool.
I love it.
What the hell was that thing they passed by? Are we there yet? I don't even know if we're there.
We're not even close to there yet.
We'll go back.
Sorry.
No, we're not even close to there. You're right.
No.
So get on the planet.
We left off. Yeah, we're still in space. We're still on the frigate. Or no, we're on the Onyx Cinder. That's on the frigate. So we got. I think they're doing claimsies over the ship now.
Oh my god!
Which was what an amazing moment. Yeah,
another
that claimsies.
Was also, as we say,
full circle.
Full circle.
Yeah.
Yep. Is SM33 setting the pirate code again? You can only be captain of one ship, and well, that worked out for everybody.
He really came in close with that.
He did. SM33 really came around. I knew he really liked the kids, and not like he hasn't liked Jod the whole time, pretty much. Even though he's forced to be his servant / first mate for a bit there. But
born to be a kid, forced to be a servant.
I like how Jod runs over and just covers Wim's mouth, and then he takes claimsies, and then Fern backs up Wim there. a nice moment.
Again, okay. I don't know if this joke is dead at this point, but geez, Louise, Wim must have gone to the same school as the parents. Slow on the draw, dude. Immediately, like I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, just claim the ship. And he goes, like
I know he's hesitating.
Dude? Just
It's
say
tough.
it. Just say the words.
Stage fright. It's tough.
He still
Stage
said it
fright.
first, though, even
He
though
did.
God covered his mouth. And I was kind of upset that 33 didn't accept it.
I know.
I know.
I thought he got it off. I would have given it to him.
I would have too.
But- Yeah.
Yeah.
Hannah mentions 33 was looking for a reason just to punch Jod, and he absolutely
Honestly.
clocks him. So.
That's why he wore his helmet.
He knew something was gonna happen. I appreciate like later on when he's not wearing his helmet, he's complaining to the kids. He's literally like, and I got a really bad headache because
Yeah.
he took a line drive to the jaw.
Oh, I didn't even think
I
of
thought
that.
about that.
He got punched in the head by a droid that should be able to punch your head off.
I know.
But he was wearing the helmet. That's why they had him wear
There's
the
no
helmet.
ibuprofen in space. So
Mhm.
No. Back is
Sadly.
pretty good, but
Yeah.
it's no ibuprofen. So the kids are on the ship, and Jod. The first time I watched it, I was like, "How did Jod get on the ship?" But he didn't go to the school of where the parents ran from. Another full circle moment there, and the
Dude's
ship's actually in the
ass.
hangar for a pretty long time. It's there for like a full 30 seconds, so he probably got there pretty easily. And yeah, the kids are off to Ad, and I was like pumped for watching the first time. I was like, yes, here we go. The crew's back. SM-33's telling jokes, punching people out, and they're all happy seeing Ad again. Well, they get through the mess of a storm eventually, and it was cool how like it looked like a planet, and then they go inside, and it was like a planet within the planet.
Yeah, well, it
That
looked like a
was-
gas giant.
Yeah.
The
So it
scale
looked
was
like just like a-
incredible.
Yeah,
That was crazy.
it was great.
So where do we go from there? We find out Jod is on the ship,
Mhm.
and very shocking moment. Jamie gasped, and I was like, oh,
Well,
like
I mean, what else were they gonna do? You have to know that Jod's gonna end up with them, or they
I
just
was
won't.
shocked.
They go-
she
They
I was
land on the
shocked.
planet, and the pirates
Yeah.
can't get on, and the end. It's the end of the show. The
she
end.
gasped that what Jod does.
Well,
Whips out
yeah.
the lightsaber, and SM-33 is like, all right, old man, here I have to teach you
And
this
literally-
lesson again.
Literally, stay back, kids. I got this, and it's
Yeah.
just like, pfft, no.
Mm.
Like,
Ooh,
I screamed. I was sad.
this was a great point by Brent. I didn't think of this till now, but it's very
Okay.
much like Iago with Droll in Clone Wars,
troll.
The Legend of Droll.
What a
That's a good
callback.
point.
True.
Great
Kinda.
callback.
Do we still okay? Where do we stand on what the barrier is? Like, is it natural or is it generated by
No,
Generated.
That's
It's
generated.
all those
generated.
things at this point?
Oh, you mean
100% machine?
like the
generated.
gas part of it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think generated.
yeah.
Okay.
I think with
Amplified.
those like electric looking, I don't know, things, I think it is
Powered.
man-made.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
yeah.
a disguise. It's a disguise.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know,
Fully cloaked.
anybody who flies down there will just think it's a gas giant with a lot of lightning. We've seen plenty
And
of those.
dumb. Like
Yeah.
Brutus.
Like Brutus. Brutus just, what is
Dumb
Brutus.
idiot
this?
Brutus.
Let's
Stupid
leave.
moron.
Brutus is dumb.
Brutus.
No.
Yeah.
Get a better idea. Let's leave.
He just wanted Jod to lose.
Literally.
He has that
I
Hux
don't
in him.
care. I don't care if I
Yeah.
win.
Just know what to lose.
And those pups.
Yeah. So were you guys stunned by 33 getting beheaded by a lightsaber?
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
because he's been broken like 20 times. He keeps dying. Every episode, it's a new way to kill SM-33.
He'll be
I-
fine, but I
He'll
was
be
sad.
fine.
Matt's really calling it like it is. I love it.
Oh yeah.
He's like, get over it. Your droid will be fine.
Dude, I mean,
There's no
on-
crying in Star Wars.
yeah.
I think
it's
I
a
was
droid,
shocked
he's
because the
fine.
lightsaber made an appearance. And
Yes.
That more
Right.
so,
yeah, I feel like we had talked once the lightsaber was on the table, then the lightsaber will make another appearance, right? Like that's how it works. And I don't know why I didn't consider that it would be used against SM-33. I think I had said originally that it was going to be used against like Fern or something, since I don't know why I thought that. Just like as like a captain situation. But as I was surprised. That's it.
Yeah.
I saw Hannah and Brent in the chat mention, and I forgot, like, I'm so used to watching like HBO shows or something, but I literally thought he was gonna squash Snowball.
Dude, I
Oh
actually.
my
Me
God.
too.
And I was
Me
like, no,
too.
they're not gonna do this.
He like
Neil
hesitated.
would have been
Game of
Uh,
Thrones would.
Nudging him
would've.
the wrong way.
Oh, yeah.
I just love how Snowball like screamed at him so much. Like this little rat hasn't barely made a noise the entire time, and like the moment this happened, he just starts screaming
You
at him
killed
like
my house.
My house.
my home.
My home. Okay, I will say this. Going into this episode, first of all, I did not watch it Tuesday night. I watched it Wednesday night. And I don't blame AJ and Jamie for thinking I watched it Tuesday night because I always do, but I didn't this time. So they texted me right after the episode was over, oh, I don't think there's redemption for Jod. So I'm sitting there the whole time waiting for Jod to do like something totally unforgivable. And I thought he was going to crush Snowball. I legitimately thought, I was like, oh, this is it. This
wasn't
that would be unforgivable.
It would be.
This is unforgivable.
Him beheading 33 wasn't the reason. That was one of the reasons, but
no, I don't think that was a reason at all.
That wasn't the reason. It was the whole episode.
Saying that he was going to carve up the parents was like
a
lot.
That's what did me in.
Slowly.
Yeah.
He has a headache. Come on, guys.
The biggest thing with like the lightsaber is the moment we saw it, we knew it was going to get used. And it was like a genuine surprise to see it just suddenly appear and then used in such a manner. Also, I don't want to criticize Jod's technique, but this man has like never held a lightsaber in his life. Like,
this man's not a Jedi.
Like,
this man was never a Jedi.
I gotta ask what we think our Jod backstory stories are, like, because at this point, I don't even think he was at any point like in the Jedi Order, like at any point. Because
I don't know what I think anymore. It's like, okay, did you only get like 1 year of training? I don't know. Or Caitlin had a theory that like maybe he encountered a former Jedi that helped him with something with the Force, and like that's it. But it's not like any sort of that. And that Jedi had formal Jedi training. So then whatever was
post Order 66, like he encounters a Jedi.
Yeah.
It's like a too complicated backstory for I think one episode left with Jod, but that's kind of what I thought, because he clearly knows how to use it, but he hasn't really used it. He hasn't used it for anything notable. He hasn't used the Force for anything notable, and he's not very good with a lightsaber. But he's good enough to make his point to the kids, and I would argue probably to the parents as well next week.
I mean, none of them have ever seen a lightsaber or a Jedi before either, so they don't know. I mean, Wim ignited it upside down, so
that's true.
I was saying at the beginning of the season that there are a billion different ways a person in this galaxy could learn how to use the Force adeptly. Like everybody always has to trace it back to the Jedi, and like I get it, like the Force, using the Force adeptly requires training, but there's a million ways that you can either train yourself or learn from like a Jedi who left the Order or whatever. Like there's so many different ways.
The latter.
People
YouTube video.
Yeah, it'll be YouTube videos.
He's gotta be it.
But like I think I've been dying to see just like some randos use the Force, just completely separate from the Jedi, just totally not affiliated with them whatsoever. Because even when he's talking about like attachment, like he doesn't get that right. He doesn't get like any of the Jedi doctrine right. Like he's definitely just like
Qui-Gon,
fraud,
which was
that is true.
He's just Googled it.
Yeah,
I like that idea.
Quote really sold me that he was trained by a Jedi just based off of that quote alone. But that was it, because I totally agree with you. I want to see someone who can just, because he basically has like parlor tricks, right? It's just the fact that he can just move stuff with his mind and hand. So yeah, I'm with you. I feel like it would. The thing that I'm thinking about though is I do think that they need to address how he used the Force, because I think that has been such a sticking point for the kids from the very beginning. And I don't know what the line is that he would deliver to explain himself for that. Like, is it, I like encountered a guy once, or like some guy just helped me? Is that enough? Like, I don't, how is it explained then in the finale?
I don't know. I don't think they will. I mean, there's much more important things to reveal, like maybe Tak Renaud, the supervisor,
right?
A conclusion to what's going to happen here, obviously.
I mean, I don't really think there's going to be room for any sort of explaining that, because, I mean, like I just mentioned, none of them have seen a Jedi. So he could arguably say whatever the hell he wants to.
Right.
to get what he needs.
And then it's just whatever's going to happen with the parents, the supervisor, and hopefully making contact with the frigate.
The only
right.
way I could see them explaining it would be like to start the episode with some sort of flashback with a younger Jod, and then it goes to modern day with him. Like, I don't know. Like, that's the only thing I could see. And if that
Yeah.
happens, I'll buy a lottery ticket or something. But
I
Alright.
think the thing too is that for Wim, for his character development, it's about seeing that someone with the Force or someone who calls themselves a Jedi doesn't mean they're inherently trustworthy or
Mhm.
that they actually
Oh,
are a
yeah.
Jedi even.
Yeah.
And I think that was another big moment, I think, for him in this episode was calling Jod out as a liar because he's been the biggest fan of Jod from the very beginning. You know, like he used the Force. Clearly he's a Jedi, everyone. He can do all this great stuff and the Jedi are good guys. Him growing up is realizing that you can't always take people at face value like that.
Yeah. Can't
Yeah.
Don't
trust
trust your
everyone.
eyes; they'll deceive you.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I think we've come full circle, and I don't even mean that as a joke, but I honestly mean it
Whoa.
from the at Akron episode with with Fern. You know, finally maybe starting to trust Jod because they had a long stare down, Fern and Jod, and I was kind of like, what's going on there? But they had a good relationship. They were starting to kind of maybe trust each other. I don't know, maybe like a father-daughter relationship to a degree, like a small percentage. But and then
Mhm.
Fern has totally lost trust in him by now, obviously. And
Well, yeah.
all the kids
That's
are
good.
teary-eyed, and I mean, there's a lightsaber in their face, so good reason. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Jod backstory is interesting. I don't know if there's really time to explain that, as you guys were saying, but
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there is, but this episode was more so just showing what Jod really wants more than anything else than his backstory of
Exactly.
just like he'll do anything to just get his money at this point, and he's so close to
He's so
actually
desperate.
pulling it off.
He needs it.
He's just a desperate, pathetic little pirate. That's all he
Yeah.
is. So just
Well,
gotta
that's
roll with
how-
it.
I guess we can, they get down to Atten, and they long story short, they get down to the credits. And I guess this is our real question of the week we did earlier, but like the question of this episode and that Matt and we haven't been arguing, but I could tell this could maybe be a debate or something that do you see redemption for Jod still? Like, I certainly thought that early on. I thought he was going to have like a Han Solo arc, but this episode kind of showed me he's truly evil. He's truly a pirate. What do you guys think?
I don't know.
That's fair.
I go back and forth. I think there's a chance that there's going to be an opportunity. I think Jod is a pirate at heart. I think there's going to be an opportunity that he can be remorseful or somehow help the kids like go their separate ways. And in that moment, he thinks that he's going to get some sort of reward in a treasure form or something like that. And it's like, it's not really a trade-off for him. I think that could happen, but I don't know. I honestly don't know. Caitlin had talked about how the whole concept of when they were going into the acid pool, Caitlin, what was that? The trading
They had
what
to like
was it?
sacrifice the most important thing.
Yeah, the most important thing wasn't
Right.
your life, it was treasure. So would we come back to that? Because now we're presented with so much treasure, endless treasure. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that might come up again. And then
That's a good point.
yeah,
That is good.
Is Jod going to be redeemed? I don't know, but I do think that he could make a solid trade.
Yeah.
Do
That's
something
probably
nice.
the best way to put it. I think if
Yeah.
if anything, if there's going to be like a positive arc for Jod, it's that. I think that's a good way to put it. Either the kids are endangered by something in the safe malfunctions, or maybe the supervisor, being all droids, thinks that the kids know too much and needs to like wipe them out or something, and he does something to help them. So, something like that.
Exactly.
But I think this is going to be like a Long John Silver thing
Yeah.
again, going back to that, where he, guy's a scumbag and he gets away, and we still love him
Yeah.
because he's he's a lovable
Gets away with a
scumbag.
little bit of money.
Pirate.
Gets
and
away with a
that's
little
it.
bit of
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
Still gets to be a pirate. Still out there pirating and doing his thing.
People love pirates.
Well,
Yeah.
I think
But
that's what's
he's
gonna
not
happen.
like the scuzziest scumbag in the world. So you kind of look at him and you're like, okay, all right.
It's funny because I don't think he's evil. Like
No.
he's made some
Yeah.
threats and he wants to like steal, but I don't think he's evil. He just
He's pirate
he's
evil.
a pirate. He's piratey. Like,
Totally.
Yeah. I
He's-
think I said from the beginning that I think Jod would always end up back on the high seas, that is where he's going to be. I think it
Yeah.
is just now the question of, okay, is he there like with a little bit of the reward, like Long John Silver, or has he been banished? Kind of the theory I'm kind of holding on to now, because I don't really see him as making the choice for the kids anymore. I feel like I did, like, especially after the, the spa episode and we had that whole thing with the acid pool. I was like, oh, this is definitely going to come back around, and he's going to have to make the choice between the treasure and the kids, and he's like fallen in love with the kids and become this whole father figure. But that was clearly not his place this week, so I've kind of walked that back. But I think that him kind of being banished from Ad Atten now with no ability to get back, that is kind of punishment, but he's still on the high seas and he's still looking out there.
Yeah.
And I would love for the kids to like work together and create the plan that ultimately gets Jod off Ad Atten. But that being said, I would love to see him actually make the choice between the treasure and the kids. And I think
that would be cool.
Yeah, when we talk about redemption, that's always like it's always on the table for our characters. But
Literally.
I feel like he went so far and was so mean in this episode.
Yeah.
Matt's
Look,
like he didn't go that far. He
if
didn't
there's
step on-
one
didn't
thing-
step on
okay.
Snowball.
If there's one thing Star Wars has taught us, is that you can literally murder children and still get a redemption arc. Like
Yeah.
that's Star
Yeah.
Wars.
But he's
Like
scared
he didn't
Neil.
do that.
it's true.
He scared
He
Neil.
killed a droid. Well, that's true. That's true. He did scare Neil.
That's a
that's
big
not fair.
offense.
That is that's pretty bad.
Huge
That's
offense.
almost as bad. That's almost as bad as what he
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
So
But
Do
Matt,
we-
I think you had a good point there about it all. Like he's a pirate, and in a lot of stories, pirates are heroes to us. Like and I mean, no one lists. He's a bit more whimsical and kid friendly maybe, but like Hondo
yeah.
is
Mhm.
certainly
But
no one
Hon-
lists Hondo as a favorite villain or anything. He's-
Hondo in
people love Hondo.
the Clone Wars, oh my god, he's like
Yeah,
he's intercepting Jedi ships and trying to steal Padawans to sell into slavery. Like, and we love like Jack Sparrow. Jack Sparrow is the biggest piece of crap on the planet. Dude.
Totally.
Like that dude is awful. Like,
No, yeah.
but you have fun. You love them because they're pirates, and that's what
Yeah.
pirates do. They're
And that's what Jod is.
By the end of
course.
the Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy, you like even love Barbosa. Like you love all
Yeah.
of them,
When Barbosa came back, I was cheering.
like,
I was
yeah.
11 years old. I was standing up. I was
there.
cheering in the friggin' theater. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
It's a great point. So I guess the question might not be will Jod be redeemed, because maybe he doesn't need to be redeemed because he's a life. Pirate's life is for him.
Or so
Yeah,
will he
no.
get away?
Will he
And
get
what
away?
will
Yeah.
he get away with?
With treasure.
I hope,
No, not with
He
treasure.
does.
Probably not.
but
I don't think he's gonna get away with treasure.
he's Jude Law, which means he's probably very expensive. Which means they probably are getting rid of him because they can't bring
No.
him back for season 2.
I think
Just
it's so
need
good.
him.
I don't think. I think they have two endings, and they're gonna go with the he lives ending.
I hope
Yeah.
so. I really
Ooh.
hope
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
This is my other full circle moment that I've obsessed a lot about on our show is the very opening of Skeleton Crew is Jod Captain Silvo with 1 credit. So I kind of think
yes.
that could come back around and
Oh,
he
that would
will escape with 1 credit or
That would be
something
perfect.
like that.
That's
Yeah.
perfect. That's actually you
Yeah.
Full
nailed it. Nailed it on
That's
the head.
good.
That's
Okay.
hit the nail on the head right there. That's perfect.
Wow.
And
what
then
a
next
full
week
circle.
he's gonna like die in a horrible way, and we're gonna be like, oh, we're gonna be like sitting there like shell shocked.
Yeah, I think that everything has come back around in the show, though. Like
That's
even,
that's
like
a
from the
brilliant
smallest thing,
prediction.
where that cold open from that first episode was so distinct that I think it
Yeah.
has to come back around somehow.
Yeah, you're right.
Mhm.
No, I
Yeah.
think that's a brilliant way. He escapes with 1 credit.
Yeah.
And that's good old Jod.
Mhm.
I was going into this show too. I was thinking like, who would be the villain, and I always thought Jod would be, with the kids and be a hero as he was for a few episodes, or maybe not the hero, but a friend of the kids. But and I thought maybe Brutus was going to be the villain, but
See, yeah, maybe
know,
that's why I
kind of
hate
a red
Bruce
herring.
so much, because Bruce didn't do shit. He just sat around. He
I know.
didn't antagonize the kids at all. He
But he-
antagonized Jod.
he's a funny wolf man, so we
Funny
love
wolf
him.
man.
Bounty out on him.
I think you bring up a good point, though. In this specific episode, Jod is the villain. He is the
Yeah.
big bad, and by the
Absolutely.
end of it, he's. But what happens when we introduce in the finale? We reveal the supervisor and like that
Yes.
becomes a bigger threat to the society that they're a part of now on Atten, then what happens to Jod as a character? Is he no longer the big bad? And then can we see him make a choice that is redemptive in our eyes, and then he's able to get away somehow? I don't know.
That's kind of what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
That the
thinking too.
supervisor's the villain, and because at the end of this episode, Jod's doing the maniacal laugh, like with credits, like Walter White or whatever, like
Get the money.
and they're playing the evil music. So it's like, okay, in this episode, he is a villain, but I'm kind of hope there's one episode left, so I hope it does
To get a proper redemption arc, they always introduce a bigger villain for the
Yep.
smaller
Yeah.
villain.
There's always a bigger villain.
fish.
There's always a bigger
Do you-
villain.
Do you guys think the mint would be destroyed potentially? Like, do you think that could ever
Ooh.
happen?
Well, what about the reactor thing that we just saw?
Yeah,
Right.
well, that's
Yeah.
we
They-
can talk about that now.
They
Yeah,
made a
it's
big
going up.
deal out of showing that reactor.
It's
Um,
got
Yeah.
that's got to play a part in it, and I
I
think
mean,
that's
we've-
probably the thing that's going to put the kids' lives in danger, or something along those lines.
We've seen that like imagery before, like from it is so like Death Star core, right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly,
it's-
exactly.
Death Star. I think it's that. Death Star said it.
that's what it sounded like, but like actually the core. of
Death Star core. Yeah.
Yeah, that thing's going up some way or one way or another.
Mhm.
So then
Yeah.
Atten doesn't have any money. Isn't doing its mint, which is its whole purpose.
I mean,
And
but
then
they
they're
did-
finally free to join the rest of the galaxy,
There we go.
to the burgeoning, long-lasting
First
New
Order.
Republic.
Raiders Thrawn's
What?
coming back.
I don't know what you mean.
I mean,
Hey, they-
there is
go
so
ahead.
much money stockpiled though, because they said the 1,139, not
Which is
1138.
not
Close,
1138.
close.
Uh,
Vaults, and so they're all full. There's so much money like still on this planet, but even if that whatever the reactor core does like blow, I mean, that's it. That
what are they
is-
doing with all that money?
You know what this show feels
Wait,
very much
they're
like?
about to show up to take it.
But
For a
doesn't
republic
anybody
that doesn't exist?
sitting there checking their watch, going, "It's been 25 years. No one showed up to take any of this money. We have 1,000 vaults full of it."
They're droids.
But that's the thing about the droids, right? Like
That's
they're
true.
just like
They're just
keep
dumb.
on working.
They're
Mm.
as stupid as
Yeah.
Brutus.
Yeah. for
This
sure.
show, I don't know why I keep drawing it. Like I'm not that big of a Marvel fan these days, anyways. Or I was pretty casual Marvel fan, but the show feels very WandaVision / Loki, where like it's only Loki because like maybe you have this big villain in the tower at the end of the show or the episode or whatever, or the season, and then like WandaVision, I kind of feel like it was the same, where like you had this boring society going about their daily lives, but there was really like shielded by Agatha all along,
Yeah.
as we found out. So the supervisor is our Agatha, maybe.
It's
Could be.
super Wizard of Oz to me too, especially
yeah.
when like all the
Yeah.
parents are standing around and the droid is like, "You guys got in trouble," and then literally the supervisor's voice comes on and it sounds like the wizard just being like, "Hey everyone, it's the wizard," but it's the supervisor. And it's so reminiscent of Wizard of Oz, and just
And then
Did
the
everyone-
silo, like
The
in the
man
middle of
behind
the
the curtain,
field,
yeah.
opens up,
opens up and
and it's been
people
like
are
paved over with grass, grassed over,
What?
What's the word? Sodded over.
rolled out
Over.
the dirt.
They
But
just-
yeah, people are
it
tumbling
hasn't
off
been
of it
opened
and
in
whatnot.
forever.
Fertilizer.
Like
Yeah,
when was the last time it was
fertilized.
opened?
That's
Like,
25
never.
years ago, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
someone used the word automated before in the chat. And I think that's such a good way to describe it because everything is automated, everyone's jobs. And so whatever is not happening, like as far as someone coming to take the money, it's just like, yeah, we'll do that like when the Republic needs us to, and the supervisor will tell us. And
Mhm.
just wait until then.
I was just so complacent. Like, come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like anything could happen in this finale, and I guess that's good.
It's
Like,
exciting.
I don't know. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's pretty unpredictable.
Yeah.
But with that, we can probably head into our episode MVP here.
Yes.
If I can find the graphic, of course. There we go.
So this is when we pick our favorite characters from this week's episode, and then after we pick that, we'll also pick our favorite Glupshido of the week. Even though there weren't that many this week, it's okay though. We'll
got
we'll
one.
find something.
Oh, there was a lot. We had a whole pirate crew to pick from.
True.
True.
True. Okay.
Slow,
Anyhow.
slow buttons McGee. His,
Who?
and his pirate crew.
All right. Episode MVP. We'll start with the Skytalkers. Charlotte, what do you have for episode MVP?
I think throughout our discussion, I got to give the episode MVP to Undersecretary Farah for getting the buoy into the air and running
that
as
shit.
fast as she could.
Which we
love
all
that.
know is
It's
not
not
very
that
fast,
fast.
but she tried.
She tried her best, and her best was her best.
This was her best. That's all.
She did
That's
it.
all we needed. That's
It
all
was
we
a
needed.
success.
She got it. She did it. She did
Yeah.
it.
Mhm, mhm.
I think my MVP has got to go to Fern for calling unclaimsies on the ship and actually getting it back.
For
Yes.
SM33 to be like, yeah, that's good.
So it checks out. Good
Yeah,
logic.
it checks out.
Oh, man.
Can't decide?
I have no idea who I'm gonna pick. Yeah,
Alright, we'll
go with
circle
Matt
back.
first. I'm like
Matt,
tied
do you
between
have one?
three.
Yeah, Jod.
Yeah.
For killing Brutus, and that's it. That's why I'm giving it to him for
That's it.
finally taking care of business. TCOB, dude. Thank you. Thank you.
Taking
Take
care of
Brutus.
Brutus.
TCOB, baby. Come on.
Poor Brutus.
I also have
No.
to go with Jod for this week as well. Not for taking care of Brutus, but just for showing just the full character change of showing where he like really like lies with all of this and how he will do almost anything just to get this treasure. I gotta go with Jod.
Okay, very good. I'm bringing back my guy, SM33.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
last week I was
Yeah,
like,
I'm
I can't
with
wait for him to drop some one-liners, gets shot in like the first second. So he wasn't in the whole episode. He's back this week with a vengeance. And I all jokes aside though, like I love that he like, I don't think it's like his programming that he has to like choose or even the pirate code necessarily, but he was like, no, like he loves the kids and knocked out Jod. He went with his droid gut. And that was kind of my moment of the episode, I guess, because I was cheering, like I mentioned earlier, and like the gang was back together. So,
Yeah.
SM33 MVP.
Oh yeah.
Good choice.
All right. Glup Shadow of the week. We'll go around again. So we'll start with Caitlin this time though.
I'm gonna cheat a little, and this is gonna be for Matt, but mine is the claw.
Yeah.
Oh,
Love it.
That's a good glup.
Yeah.
We love a good glup here. And it
I
literally
feel
could
like
be
there's-
anything.
There's not that many glups in this, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I feel like I gotta choose the one woman pirate who definitely has a backstory with Jod.
100%.
Yeah, freeing him out of the door and
Second
whatnot.
time she's done that.
Yeah, Orange is the New Black pirate lady. Let's go.
That's her full name, first and last.
Lady. Let's go. Okay. AJ?
so I am ready for this one. I'm going with the airlock guy.
Yep.
'Cause he-
Slow buttons
if
McGee.
it wasn't for him, Jod would have died, and Brutus would still be ruling.
Thank God for him. Done.
Matt?
Okay, so I'm gonna go with that one droid that's watching Jod take a shower in credits. Who's just standing in the background watching as this man goes,
Just staring down at him.
I think he died. I think Jod got rid of him.
Did he
with the
take out?
lightsaber.
Did he take him out?
He cut
I don't
off
think
his
we
head
saw it,
too.
but I think that's what happened.
Okay.
Also,
okay.
those droids are more destructible than the Trade
For sure.
Federation droids. Like they look like you could just
Oh yeah.
like
Blow him over.
Did you see
literally.
the one that comes into like the office when the parents are sitting around? He comes in, he says something, he starts walking away, and the puppetry is so good because he literally he's like, he looks like he's gonna blow over. Like they don't even
Totally.
need, they can look at him and he'll fall apart. Like it's
Yeah.
great.
They included like when they're on the elevator, you can see them all like shaking, not just the people, but the droids themselves are also shaking. So
Yeah.
they
No, it's good.
really puppeteered them well and,
Oh,
and
for sure.
It's
animated.
great.
And
sure.
the
those
fact that the
droids.
parents haven't been able to overpower these droids just
kind of part of it.
One shove.
I don't
Yeah.
know
not great. They
We've
need to
seen
really
their
work out.
We know.
if
yeah.
any of you guys have played the Mass Effect games or seen them or anything, but they kind of remind me of the Geth. It's just clicked in my head.
They
They kinda
do
look like that,
the
but-
Geth.
So if anyone knows what those are, maybe you know what I'm talking about. But
They
deep
do.
cut.
Kind of.
Anyhow,
Unfortunately, I
Um,
have not played Mass
the
Effect.
one thing you
neither.
don't know anything about. Matt.
Literally the one thing I have no idea about. Sorry.
My
Jordan liked
bluff of the week is this is tough. I have to go at Glurb, just for his
an easy
ultimate
one.
sacrifice.
He's the ultimate. He's the ultimate glup. He's
He-
glurb.
He just wanted that glow weed farm.
He's Glurb Shitto. Like he's literally like.
He is Glurb.
He is
Oh, he
La
is.
Flurb.
Yeah, come on.
There we go.
I was hoping he'd get on the list somewhere, so I'm glad you picked him at least.
I think I
I
picked him
had
last week.
Oh,
someone
yeah,
did.
you maybe
I couldn't pick him twice in a row, or I could have, but
Glurb Sweep.
poor guy.
Sweep.
I'm sweet.
Clip sweep.
You almost had a KB sweep last week. That was big.
I know I ruined
Yeah,
it though.
for the
No, it's
Made one.
okay. It's okay. Wim
All right.
deserved it. Wim deserved it.
Where do
Hmm.
we go from here? Yeah. Where do we go from here?
I don't know.
Good night.
Oh, just that much. Good night. Okay, well.
I don't know.
Well, thank
Great
you, Caitlin and
episode.
Charlotte. Thank you guys both so much for joining us tonight. We always get to chat with like an awesome episode with you guys. Thank you for joining us. Of
Thank you so much for having us. This was so
Thank you.
fun.
course, of course.
You
And
guys
then-
are like I don't know if it's like a mushy comment or anything, but you guys are always such a great like couple of guests because you guys are so deep with all the themes, of course, in the discussion.
Yeah.
But the sense of humor is also amazing. So it's like
Thanks,
it's a
Adrian.
it's a great balance. So it's really fun to have you guys
That
on.
means a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No, it's so fun to
so
talk
fun.
with you guys. We feel the same.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We were like, we're so pumped to come on tonight and just
Yeah.
chat. We know it's gonna be really fun.
It's a good
And
time.
It was. So
Yeah.
Making me blush.
Honored to have you guys. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who hung out with us tonight in the chat. I have to look up the name really, really quickly, but I do want to highlight this one really quickly before we say goodnight. And you see the Ahsoka news. They recast Balin's skull. The news officially dropped, and
It's
is-
official.
I think so. Most sources reporting was like discussing film and
Grain of
whatnot,
salt, couple of grains of salt.
but
As
most
official as
likely,
we can get with these things, it seems.
Yeah.
But it's a Rory McCann, correct?
Rory
Is that the
McCann,
name?
there you go, yeah.
He was the Hound in Game of Thrones, which the more you think about it, that's an awesome casting. So,
And apparently,
great.
him and Ray Stevenson were friends. in
Oh,
life.
yeah.
Yeah.
Even better.
That's so great.
It feels
Even better.
meaningful. I know it would be, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good. It's a good choice. I'm
so
so
glad
glad they're
they're-
bringing him back.
Yeah, recasting. So I think Ray would want the character to live on as well.
Yeah.
So
Oh, absolutely.
I'm
There's so much
so
potential
glad
there.
that this is the route they're going.
Mhm.
And if
I'm
that
excited.
news / rumor isn't true, then oh well.
Well, hey, it was
never
a good
know.
one. You never know.
Yeah, yeah.
But all right, thank you guys so much. Again, thank you everyone in the chat who hung out with us tonight, and thank you to everyone who's been listening this entire evening. We'll be back next week for the final episode of Skeleton Crew episode 8, hopefully. Episode 8
Makes me
of
sad.
season 1. We'll see. I
No.
totally butchered that ending. But anyway, we'll catch you guys next time on the Haunted Murders podcast. See you guys next time.